Okay, so in the spirit of full disclosure, I suppose, in case you wonder why I cut out what I did, this this part here is actually this. You can see how eaten up that was in the corner, and the reason for that is you can see part of it here, but the inner frame rail meets this outer frame rail, and they had two rivets in it where they held the bottom together. And there was also two on the top, but this was all eaten up, and just kind of this side would just fucking. I'm sorry. This side was just hanging there, and the inside was eaten up even worse than the outside. The opposite side, which is down there, is this piece here. I don't know if you can see how much metal is actually gone from there, but this is really thin right here. I mean, you can kind of see where it's thicker here, and then it drops down and it's eaten up to the corner. And of course, you've got the holes through it. And it's all the way eaten up through here too, and then it starts to fill back out over here. And there, the bottom of it was actually solid, except for this part right here. These are pieces of the inner rail over here. So even though that side looked pretty okay, like, it wouldn't have been enough just to patch this up, and that whole piece needs to be cut out. Obviously this side needed to be cut out too, and just like that, it's eaten up to this corner. And then it's solid here, but it ends about right there. Which I'm gonna take these all off, but like the front half, I mean, there's just the slightest bit of pitting in it, which is no big deal. About at the footboard where your feet would be in the cab, you start getting this pitting. I don't know how much that really shows up, and that it gets worse and worse, and it kind of runs down the middle of, like, here is the bad part. You can see how it's eaten up. It's like that on both sides. I mean, I could, suppose, go through the trouble of cutting all that out. I mean, it's still quite solid. It just looks awful. I don't want to say that. I mean, no one's paying me to do this. It's my own car. What I'll finally end up doing is I'm going to make this look pretty again by doing filler in that pit. I'll use like a metal filler, like a aluminum filler, but if someone was paying me lots of money, I would probably scrap this frame, because all the work of fixing all this stuff, I would just, I mean, it's not worth the money to pay somebody to fix all this, when you can find a frame in better shape. Where I think it's going to be okay, though, is that I'm going to box in the inside of the frame. It's my own car, so even though this looks awful, there's still a ton of strength still in it, and by putting this heavy plate on the backside and welding the seams up on both sides all the way down. There shouldn't be any issues with it. I mean, I could have probably skimped off on some time by not going through the reverse engineering these inner rails and just tearing it apart and then box it in, and I don't know, it's kind of a pro-con situation where, I mean, I'm not going to win any like original award points on the frame, because anyone hops underneath there, they'll see obviously it's been fixed, and then if I get it to a point where you can't see the fix, they'll see that it's been boxed in, so even then it's not original. So